And we are going to be talking about fucking Disney. That's what we are. We went to
where full, and then they were like,
seeing Lola.
So yeah, man. Today
We are going to be talking about Mega. What's going on, guys? This is Lewis over at the Nerd Archive podcast, and as always, I have Lola, Yadi, and Justin. So, hey guys,
Hello.
how's it
Hello.
going? How are you guys doing today?
It's another fun day, slowly but surely coming to an end. And we're getting to the best part, though.
All right, yes,
And we got
always.
sophisticated gentlemen in the chat. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello there.
Well, all right. So, we're going to be talking about Secret Invasion and the highlights of the Nintendo Direct. And towards the end, the best part for last, we're going to have Lola's theories in a would you rather? Is it one or two?
it's just one and one.
1 and 1. Sounds good. Fantastic. No
Yeah.
shots today, but here we go. All right.
You're still
Um,
drinking. Lewis is a bad boy.
Yes, I am. You haven't watched Secret Invasion? Then get the fuck out of here.
This
We're
is
just
gonna be spoiler ridden.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, tune out now.
Exactly. So, yeah. Before we get started, today is Happy Stitch Day today. 626.
Ooh,
That's
that's
it.
nice.
All right, we are going to do the previously on. With that being said, I didn't add it to the fucking list.
I couldn't even hear it.
What's up, nerds? This is Ryan. Previously on the Drunk Nerd podcast, Nerd Archive podcast, the nerdy quote game does not go in Lewis's favor. Big shocker. Lewis talks about how he's haunted at night by the nerdy quote game and wakes up with his butt hurting. I don't know, he sounds awful butthurt every time you guys play the game anyways. This episode, the nerds talk about AI. Maybe Lewis can use AI to teach him how to pronounce names. Lewis teaches us how to use AI to make videos about dogs. Sorry, Lola. Lewis drunkenly said he falls asleep when he's doing things he likes to do because he's so relaxed. Your sex life must be dynamite. And lastly, Lewis picks immortality but aging as a superpower. By the sound of it, Lewis's liver aged a couple years while recording. Anyways, let's see what the nerds get into this week.
We the best podcast.
Oh man. Listen.
Oh my God.
Yo, Ryan, that was great. I didn't listen to it before we started. Or heck, I wanted, like you guys said on the Discord, which brings up a good point. If you guys want to see all the conversations that we're having and you want to add your input about anything that we're talking about, make sure you join our Discord. Links are down below. Yes. I took on the role of DJ Khaled.
We the best podcast.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. The funny part is, I didn't know that happened until I'm editing. So it was fantastic. I did a live on Discord while I was editing the episode, and oh man. So if you haven't listened to the latest episode, make sure you watch that because apparently AI took over. A drunken AI. That wasn't really me. I wasn't here. I was sleeping. All right.
We were not there.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
definitely. I wasn't there, especially at the end. I was gone. I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
All right. So, Justin,
Yes.
nerdy quote of the week. Take it away,
Woo.
brother.
Sounds like a plan. That's right, everybody. Time once again for Lewis's favorite segment in the whole wide world. The segment
Fuck
where
this
I
game.
test the host's nerdy knowledge. Yeah, you know you love it. The segment where I test the host's nerdy knowledge. The segment called Nerdy Quote of the Week.
Yes. I hear that shit.
Yeah. Lewis wakes up in a cold sweat with a sore anus.
Yes, my anus. All right.
He
Go
has
for it.
nightmares about this. All right. So this week's quote is a Star Wars quote. So it is not matching. It is not matching the overall theme of the episode, and I will be sorely disappointed if none of you get any less than a perfect score.
Oh,
This
shit.
is this is gonna be. This is like this. All right. So without further ado, here we go. I have been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
That is Darth Vader in the episode 4. Yep, A New Hope. Thank you.
Anybody?
Same. I have to say it. I say the same thing he said.
Spell it out.
EAIOW. Darth Vader, episode 4.
Okie doke. Lola.
Darth Vader, episode 4.
Awesome. Everybody's responses are in, and that quote was stated by Darth Vader in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And so that's 2 points for everybody, and bonus point for whoever can come up with Obi-Wan's response to that quote.
Death. Okay.
Oh man. No bonus points. I'm telling you, if I'm watching a movie, I can quote it. If I'm not, I can't.
Maybe he said,
Hello there.
If only. If only.
Ryan says, "Fuck you, Vader." Hey, listen, I'm glad that he's always been an apprentice, Darth Vader, because if he was a master, it'd be a Master Vader, and we don't want that. So, moving on.
That was
I
a
got
good joke. Good job, bro.
That was really good. That was
I'm
really
so
good.
proud.
Appreciate it.
So Obi-Wan's response to that was only a master of evil doth.
Only a master of evil doth. Yes.
Gotcha. So everybody got 2 points for that one.
And Lewis still in behind.
But you got 2 points today. Again,
I
I'm so
did.
proud. You got
No,
it.
no disappointment.
First.
just a little bit. That's it.
All right. So that ends this one. The scores at the end of this round stand at Lola still in the lead with 24 points. Yadi close behind with 20 points. And Lewis once again holding up the rear at 16 points.
I like to hold the rear. It's fine.
Apparently so.
It's because I'm Puerto Rican.
All right. Well, and so ends another weekly edition of Nerdy Quote of the Week. And now on to our main event.
Ryan's disappointed because I got the full quote. Full points. I get it, dude. All right, guys. So Secret Invasion. It came out last week. It was a great episode. Would you
Great
say,
start.
would you say that the MCU is getting their shit together again?
Starting to, but we'll see.
Right.
I'm still cautiously optimistic. There is one point in the episode where I got kind of a little aggravated because, yeah,
Are you gonna
You're there.
tell us what it is?
the fact that they killed fucking Agent Hill.
Well, yes. When I was watching, I'm like, oh man, maybe as they're panning out, I thought that right before the screen was going to turn black, she was going to turn green.
So did
Right.
I.
That-
And that was
that's what
kind of
I
what I was
expected
hoping, but it
too.
didn't
But
happen.
then Lola said maybe the next episode starts off with that. But the problem is the first credit that they showed after that, it was
Colby Smulders,
yeah, it was
special guest.
yeah, so I'm like, oh man, she's not gonna show up ever again. Yeah, sophisticated. You have yeah, okay, I must say that I agree with the She-Hulk. Hawkeye was a good show. It was kind of slow, but it was a good show. But
Mhm.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, man, there's
That was
no
a good show.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was
It was
an
low-key.
excellent show. I haven't finished Hawkeye yet, and I was disappointed, like let down with She-Hulk. I mean,
Yeah.
aside from the Daredevil showing up,
Yeah, no,
But
so
largely
from the
disappointing.
premieres, I guess with his points for the
Yeah,
premieres,
I
I
just-
guess it is a good premiere that gets it stopped there.
right. No, I yes, I finished reading what he said and I'm like, shit. When it comes to premieres, yes. I think that we should be able to see a better Hulk now since Hulk is back in the Marvel house. So we'll see. We'll see because this whole like this Hulk that we've been getting wasn't no
The smart Hulk.
the smart Hulk.
Jeez.
So
They
no.
could have done it a lot better than they did.
Welcome to the club, Yadi.
I know I can talk.
Yeah.
Nerds don't words good.
So, all right. So we start off with Agent Ross, and he's sneaking around, finding this secret hideout. And Ryan, this is your moment. If you want to get out, if you want to join us for the second segment, it's fine. If not, spoilers.
Is you have 5 more episodes to watch.
I mean,
and it's
we
not
already
like a
spoiled
big spoiler.
we already spoiled the fact that they killed Agent Hill in the first fucking episode. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of the.
You're
of
so
those
Yeah.
upset.
So, this dude that he finds, he's telling him about the Skrulls and telling Ross what they're doing and what he thinks is going to happen. And he hands him a tablet sort of thing, and he starts watching something or reading something. And this dude figures out and attacks him that he thinks it's not him. He thinks he's a Skrull. And Agent Ross kills him. So all of a sudden, Agent Ross, he talks to Maria, and he starts being chased by somebody. Running, parkour. And
Yup.
apparently the parkour wasn't working for him because he fell.
Oh, yeah.
And
It was a bad fall.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
God, yeah.
god.
God, he tries to jump from one building to the next,
Holy
misses,
shit.
falls, and fucking just breaks everything.
And then he dies and turns green.
Yep.
So
Okay, I would like to stop you right here before you continue. Remember how I asked, hey, where's the real one? And you said, hey, we're watching the same thing. I'm sure they'll explain it in this episode, and they
Nope,
didn't
no.
explain it on the episode?
I didn't say this episode. I said that I was explaining it in the show.
Okay.
So, okay. Here we go. Now, I'm glad that you brought this up because that gave me a headache. We're watching the same show, right? For the first time. And he falls, dies. They cut into the beginning credits, which, by the way, fun fact, it was made by AI, which goes back to our previous episode. Great tie-in. Fantastic. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, I'm gonna listen. We're watching this, and the intro starts, and she says, "Where is the real Ross?" And I'm like, "Bitch, we're watching the same thing." I'm sure they'll explain it in this show.
Okay. That being said, 2 things. One, sometimes I say this or say things just to piss you off worked beautifully, by the way.
Oh, fantastic.
And the second thing is sometimes I say things out loud. It just so happens that this was like a double whammy of like,
You were looking at me when you said it.
well,
You
I
were
also
asking me.
half expected you to have an answer from the comics, but you didn't. You just asked me, so I knew at least got you half of it.
Yeah, but we know that these shows and movies are based on comic books. They're not comic book accurate.
Loosely based, would you say? But
Yeah.
also,
But Sophisticated has a good point. He's in Wakanda.
he's not in Wakanda from what I can remember from the movies. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like he
It's
was
certainly possible.
arrested for treason,
Right.
Yeah.
CIA, and then they break him out.
So maybe this whole time the Ross that we've been seeing, it's not really him.
It's possible.
But at the same time, I think they would have figured out it when they took him to Wakanda and then they fixed him up.
Right, right.
They would have noticed that his DNA is not his DNA.
Yeah.
So
Well, they do kind of explain it in a sense when they go back to their base and you see all these people that are restrained and have these beams going into their heads basically to restrain them, where they show the Skrull say, taking the dude's form and then taking the guy's memories. And so we're probably going to wind up finding him there or some other secure location where they keep people whose identities they steal.
right.
Yeah, I had also asked mentioned, not asked necessarily during the show, if it was a sort of type of like Agents of Shield when they're plugged into what's it called?
A virtual reality.
A virtual reality, yeah.
Which it's possible.
Yeah.
Since
A
now
form of.
Right. Since now we have Agents of Shield on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So they might be starting to tie things up, which is fine.
Or just
The
a
framework,
concept.
yes, sophisticated.
Yeah.
Thank you. The framework.
Yeah.
Which, in other words, the Matrix. But
Yeah.
whatever.
I was about to say, probably another form of the Matrix.
Yeah,
Because it makes
that's
you
pretty much
wonder
what it is.
because it makes you wonder, like when they put you in that stasis, like what are you seeing when you're out?
Right. They
But this
probably
is the probes that were used on Captain Marvel. When they made her see things. Do you remember
Right.
that?
yeah.
So
Oh,
this
true.
is the same technology.
So it there we go. So what is it to say that they're not going to tie in Agents of Shield and then they're going to say that that technology for the framework came from the Skrulls? Like whoever invented it, obviously they're not going to say it was from the Skrulls, but whoever
It's
invented
probably the
it
Kree.
was
The
a
Kree
Skrull.
invented it. The Kree
Right.
invented it, and the
Kree.
Skrull and the Kree had things going on. If you go back to
Right.
old comics and cartoons, they were enemies, and then got together a little bit.
And they have babies, and then
No, I mean
they
like
lived
working
happily,
together.
they lived happily ever after. Well, Agents of Shield in the multiverse, I don't know.
I mean, since they're delving into the multiverse, it's certainly possible.
Right. So Nick Fury. Let's talk about Nick Fury real quick. Obviously he bleeped. So all the theories of Nick Fury that we saw, like the main theory was that the Nick Fury that we always saw in the movies wasn't really him. The last time he was actually on Earth was during Captain Marvel's movie. And there was a big theory out there that the one that we saw was a Skrull and all that. But then they debunked that in this episode by saying that he left after he came back from the snap. So that it would have been interesting if they did it that way, but they didn't. So and he hasn't, for what everyone keeps saying, he hasn't been the same since. Go for it.
Technically, if you want to go by timeline, the last time he was actually on Earth would have been at the end of Endgame.
Right. That.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. After he came back.
When he bleeped.
Yeah. Right. Because in Infinity War, at the end, there was the after credit scene where he bleeps and he says, "Mother," and cuts out.
And calls Carol
Yeah,
Danvers?
Carol Danvers.
Carol Danvers.
Yep. So that whole theory is debunked, is what I'm trying to say. However, everyone keeps saying that he's not himself anymore. He, actually, the Queen of England actually says that he's, okay, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. What's her name? Her real name? Lola?
I don't know. I
Okay,
have no
so
clue.
the actress that when he gets taken to this lady, this British lady, the actress plays the Queen of England in The Crown.
Hmm.
So that's why I said that.
Sophisticated gentleman,
Like
Olivia
other-
Colman. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, sophisticated. I always thought that it was weird that Fury called for his mother at the end of Infinity War. Yeah, I get it. It threw me off. I'm like, what? You're such a badass, and you're calling for your mom, which is the only one that calls you Nick. So the first time we see Nick Fury back, he's limping. He's not himself anymore. He's been in that space station for a while, so he's probably not working out. He's not active duty, so he's getting old. And everyone's making a point to point that out. So it's kind of if I seen this before, every time that someone points something out like that and they keep referencing it, it means that it's going to come back at the end as him doing more than what he, like, going back to normal. So that's what I'm waiting for at the end of this season. Hopefully there's more than one season. If by looking at this first episode, I'm like, yeah, we need to see more. I'm actually excited to see where this is going to end and what's it going to lead to. Because it's obviously a segue to something that the MCU is working on. Which
I have
of
no
the
doubt.
projects is going to lead into? Is it going to be Daredevil? Or is it going to be Secret Wars? Or what are they? Or maybe the Marvels? Because that's I think the Marvels the next movie. So
Well, considering the ties between Carol Danvers and Fury, it's got to tie into the Marvels somehow, and it's going to tie into Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
oh, of course,
Like that's pretty much a given. But
right.
I think the only other movie that I know that we can tie that into would probably be the Marvels.
Right. Okay. We see the Skrulls. Obviously, the what the leader of the Skrulls was in Captain Marvel. Now he was segregated. He was sent away because they have other plans, and that's not what he wants. But they never told him what the plans were because he's trying to investigate what the plans are.
Mm.
And he lost his daughter at some point. She left, and that's true.
Oh,
Sophisticated. I'm glad that you point that out. I'm gonna put it on the screen so everyone can see exactly what he said. It's a good point. We'll touch on that in a second.
No doubt.
So we see a familiar face. We've seen her in the Solo movie, playing Kira. If you don't know who, if you want to know who that is, go back to Solo movie. We're not going to touch on Star Wars right now. That's a first. So we see his daughter is the one carrying that backpack that they're
The Gaia.
Gaia.
Yep.
We see her carrying that backpack and she's able to run away from him and go back to the Skrulls and tell them that she was met by somebody, but she doesn't tell them who it is. She said, "I don't recognize him." Whatever. So she ends up going back and meeting with her dad, and she tells him about the plan, which was a diversion. She lied to him, obviously, because she said, I'm going to mark these backpacks. That way you can see them with infrared paint. And they're following these people around the crowd and trying to make sure that they get to those backpacks. And when they reach the backpacks, they're empty. And we see, what was his name? The main villain of this movie. That was a movie of this show.
Yeah.
Great. Gravier? Let me see.
Hold that thought.
Mm.
Gravik.
There you go.
Yeah. And the leader of the Skrulls is Talos.
Yep.
Before we get to that, actually, I want to point something out. They meet this dude in this room, this furry looking dude, and they figure out he's a Skrull. Talos is getting his ass kicked, and he keeps telling Nick Fury not to get involved. Don't help me out. And they're fighting, and at one point, Talos gets the best of this dude.
Briefly.
Yeah, but then he recovers, and Nick Fury's forced to shoot him. And when Nick Fury goes back to Talos and he tries to help him up, he said, I said no because Nick Fury kept asking him, do you need help? And he kept saying no. He got it. So,
Well, Talos wanted to try and solve this the best way that he could without
Right.
loss of life.
But
Well,
he didn't want to kill his people.
I
Right.
actually took it as more as he was losing his step. And he wanted to prove that he was better than that. Because the more the guy talked to him and the more he beat him up, the more Talos wanted to fight. So I took it as more it was his he felt like
He needed to prove himself.
his pride was hurt because he was getting older. He needed to prove himself that he still has it. And he didn't.
But they don't age like humans, so like he's still not
Right.
super old. Like his age is not equal to even 40 at one
Right.
point. But yeah, I think there's more of him not wanting to kill his own kind.
Do they explain in Captain Marvel how long they were on Earth?
I don't recall because I've only seen it once.
Okay. Because Captain Marvel takes place 30 years ago. And so that means that whatever old he was before the movie.
He was 106 then, so it's 136 in the show.
Okay.
In human years. But
Right.
yeah.
But he was in his 40s in Skrull years.
Not even.
Right. Okay. But compared to the other ones, because the other ones, they were younger. So maybe the younger ones were getting the best of him. That's what I'm trying to say. But I understand also what you're saying, that he didn't want to kill anybody because that's his people.
Well, like also they can just change whatever they can look, so we don't know if that's
Right.
reflective to their age. Because
Right.
it's the same. The human side of him, like the one that he disguises as.
Right.
It's the same. It looks the same as 30 years ago.
Right. And the reason I said it is because when they're fighting, you can tell that one of them is more powerful than the other. So that's why I'm thinking that. But that's what I wanted to point out, that either he didn't want to kill them, or he didn't want to make sure that he didn't kill anybody, or that he wanted to prove himself. So now we're back to this when they're trying to find the backpacks, and they find them and they're empty, and all of a sudden you see um, this little, this younger, maybe teenager that we see in the beginning of the movie, or I keep saying movie, the beginning of the show.
Yep.
And it makes you think that the whole time it was him that he was following Nick Fury. Because as he's walking, every time that he walks by or walks behind something, he turns into somebody else.
Yep.
And which goes back to Lola asked me, how come he's not green when Talos goes from we don't know that he's one of the agents that gets in the car in the middle of the show, and then he makes him go to sleep, and then he turns into himself, and she asks, how come he didn't turn green? Does he choose to go back to that? So this point, this I keep forgetting his name.
Graphic.
Yeah.
He keeps turning into somebody else as he's walking by, but then he turns into the original face that we've seen since the beginning of the show.
Yep.
So once he turns into himself or his original face, Nick Fury is staring at him, and then he takes out a detonator and he blows shit up. He starts being chased by Nick Fury. Nick Fury tries to follow him around. All of a sudden, we see Nick Fury in front of Maria, and Nick Fury shoots Maria. I thought, oh, he figured out that she was a Skrull, like that one.
He fucked up.
But then we see Nick Fury.
And his reaction to what just happened.
Right. And I'm like, oh shit. I thought the wrong one was a Skrull. Which was good. They didn't give us what we would expect.
Pretty much. When
So-
you have a species like this that can infiltrate and blend in as well as they do, it makes sense. Like you have, like that's a really good subversion of what you would expect.
Right.
And I like that.
Then we
So-
see that it is Gravik who kills her.
Right. So in the trailer, they say you don't know who to trust because you don't know who's who.
Mm-hmm.
The whole show, I was like trying to figure out who was who. But they weren't changing anybody. But what they say with the trailer, it messed with my head trying to figure out if whoever we see is who we think it is. And that is genius.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this was a great episode. Do you guys have anything else on this?
I do not, beyond the fact that based on what we have so far, I am at this point fully invested and I want to see what happens and, you know, where all this goes.
Right. I get it. I can't wait for the next episode, which is good because it comes out in what, 2 days?
Mm.
So I'm excited. I hope that this is good sign that the MCU is back, but we'll see. It's not the same thinking, or it's not false hope. It's not like DC.
Cautious
Oh.
optimism. It's a
Right.
it's a good first step, but where they go with it from here is up to them.
Right.
And I'm hoping they go in a good direction with this.
Me too. All right. So if you guys don't have anything else, we're gonna go on a quick break. Damn, that was a damn. I struggled. We're gonna go on a quick break, and then when we come back, Justin's gonna talk to us about the Nintendo Direct.
Woo!
So stay there. Don't go anywhere, and please don't go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nerd Archive podcast. We just talked about the first episode of Secret Invasions. So if you are just joining us, if you want to see that, make sure you wait until the episode's over so you can come back to the recorded episode. And now we are going to get some highlights from the Nintendo Direct by Justin.
Oh yeah. I mean, and obviously it's not just going to be me because I know most of you have seen it, or at least enough of it to be able to contribute to all this. But yes, 5 days ago there was a Nintendo Direct after so many leaks and insider information and blah blah blah. It's weird. What was it? RGT85 said that people nowadays, especially people on like the Nintendo fans side, Ryan in the chat looking forward to the Sky Rats game. Oh man. And if you don't know what that is, we're going to tell you in just a second. That's probably going to be one of the ones that I touch on a little bit just because of how incredibly stupid it looks. And it's probably going to be one of the more popular games among the casual fans of the Switch. But yeah, like I was saying, RGT85, who was another YouTuber that I follow, saying that a lot of people seem to have this Nintendo Direct disease. Like they take everything as a hint that, they're going to have a Nintendo Direct in this day or soon or blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, until Nintendo announces something themselves, you always take it as speculation and just go with it.
Right.
So, yeah.
But the rumors were true because they kept, like, they got real hyped, like the rumors.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
there's
then
one that a lot
2
of people
days later
follow.
it showed up.
Oh yeah. Well, there's one that a lot of people follow that has been rather accurate. They call him Nate Drake, and I don't follow him necessarily, but I see a lot from him on some of the other YouTubers that I follow that where he hinted at a June 21st Direct, and a lot of people took it as confirmation, and I'm just like, okay, take it with a grain of salt, because if it's not true, then so be it, and if it is, hey, cool, it's awesome. You know, I always like to err on the side of caution when it comes to these things, because if I get into that super hype mode that, yes, this is coming, and I start putting out all this information like everyone else does, then when it doesn't happen, I wind up looking like an idiot just like everyone else. So
I already look like an idiot anyway, so it is what it is.
That's all good. So yes, it was a good Direct. It started off fairly strong with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, Hidden Treasures of Area Zero.
Did they fix Area Zero first?
Huh?
Did they fix Area Zero first?
I was gonna say that too. If they...
Yeah, I'm wondering, but they probably haven't. Like, I haven't seen. I'll have to get on. I'll have to get on Violet at some point to see if they've got another update. To see if they fixed it. But I'm not holding my breath. It's just, it's weird. Whatever. Right. But yeah, so they have it in two parts. Part one is the Teal Mask. So they introduce a new area, new story content. It's like a countryside festival. They're dropping these new Pokemon, some Pokemon from previous generations, and then a couple new characters whose names I can't remember at the moment. And they're dropping this in fall of this year. So that's going to be an interesting one. It's actually for sale on the eShop now. So you can order it now, and then you'll have it when the game comes out. Unfortunately, it's not included in the Nintendo Network subscription. I was kind of looking for that, but it made sense. They want to have their biggest stuff separate from that subscription. And then part two is the Indigo Disc, which covers another new area called the Blueberry Academy, which is this, this building in the middle of the vast ocean that has this circular area with like 4 different themed biomes that cover like the different seasons. I'm back. How many names did Lewis butcher? All of them. Every single one of them. So yeah, more new characters. I'm not sure about story content. The new area, obviously, and that one comes out in winter of 2023. And then let's see. They covered a few others. Sonic Superstars, which is a new side-scrolling 2D Sonic that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'd like to take a look at that. You've got 4 characters playable on that: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. And then 4-player local co-op, which is kind of cool, but I wish they had done some like online co-op as well, so we can get more people in on that. And that comes this fall. Let's see.
Yeah, I like that. It has like an old school feel, but
Yes,
a really nice graphics for what it
absolutely.
is.
Yeah, it looks like a mix between like the new and old school. I think they kind of tried to do that with what was it, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, when that came out during the Wii U era, but I guess it didn't. It just didn't really take, because a lot of people didn't like it. I didn't really enjoy it too much. I played because they split it in 2 parts, which I thought was odd. Cash grab, who knows?
I think with the popularity of Sonic now, they're just capitalizing.
Right.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like they know what people want in a Sonic game, but it's like a lot of the games are kind of a bit of a miss. And so I think they're kind of taking a step back and, actually giving the Sonic fans what they want to see. And this is the product of that. So it makes sense.
Right.
Let's see. Which one do we want to cover next? There was another one that stood out to me was Myth Force, which is a first-person roguelike adventure game. And for those who aren't familiar with roguelike games, that is where basically the dungeons are randomized each time you.
There we go.
Technical difficulties. I think I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to switch it to just me. You don't necessarily need to do that, but it's fine.
I am doing it.
No, I got you. Yeah. The art style I thought was pretty cool because the art style makes it look like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is pretty much how they describe it. And so it's like an old school high fantasy, and a 4-player online co-op. So like I might take a look at that. And if we can get enough people, that want to play it, that have the Switch, then that's something that we can take a look at as well. The new Splatfest for, Splatoon 3 was which I thought was a little interesting. It's an ice cream based Splatfest, so you pick either vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip at the beginning, and then you battle it out. And then I guess whoever has the most, whichever flavor has the most wins at the end of that Splatfest, wins that one. And then they're also coming out with new challenges and themed battles and stuff like that in their next update or whatever. They didn't talk really much else about the DLC for that game. There was Detective Pikachu Returns, which comes out this October 6th. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not necessarily interested in that game in particular. I mean, I like Pokemon, but
He didn't sound like Ryan Reynolds. They made him sound with a deep voice, and I'm like, that doesn't fit.
Well, I think that
That's what
was
he
also
said.
what they did for the first Detective Pikachu game.
Right.
So, it kind of makes sense. I don't think they were going to get, I didn't think Game Freak was going to get, Ryan Reynolds to be able to voice that. So it is what it is.
They don't have the budget.
I mean, that's the thing though. Nintendo has the money, because they are making money hand over fist with this console. Like, they are selling like mad even to this day for a console that's been out for almost 7 years.
It sold out during the pandemic
yeah.
because of how convenient it is, and
Oh yeah,
people playing
yeah.
their games while they're working at home and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's been it's been gangbusters ever since. Literally, like
Right.
they are kicking some serious ass this generation. Like they are at the number one spot, and it doesn't look like they're gonna give that up before the next set of hardware comes out. So yeah, no, the next one that came up, they dropped a bomb with Super Mario RPG Remake, a
I do like that
complete
I
one.
saw that.
ground up remake, yes, of the classic Super NES, and is still being developed by Square Enix this time, Squaresoft on the first one. So we'll get that distinction correct. 27 years between the original and this remake, and it is crazy. But it makes sense that the remake has to be developed by Square Enix because they own the characters. What was it, Mallow and Gino, and several others that appear in there. So
Right.
like, there's no way they were going to be able to get on that without Square's go ahead. So
Right.
I'm actually glad this happened, because this is something I don't think anybody saw coming. Like I had no idea that this was happening, and it's just like,
I bet
because
the
when I
executives
first,
though.
huh?
I bet the executives saw it coming.
Well, of course they did. It makes perfect sense. They're the ones that fucking planned it. But yeah, no. Well, when I saw the intro to the classic game, I'm like, oh, cool. They're gonna, they're putting it, they're gonna put the classic edition on the NSO, and then all of a sudden the transition and these new visuals. I'm like, no fucking way. I was watching it with Ryan, and like he
Got to
knows
be.
because he saw me, and I'm just like, yes, because I love that game. I've played it, never got to finish it, but I'm looking forward to this. This is definitely a game that I'm going to buy like day
Get a
one, and I will
second chance.
stream it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, real quick, talking about excited about video games. I have an announcement, guys. Ryan, I have an announcement. I bit the bullet and I bought
Oh yeah.
Jedi Survivor on Xbox because I can't just sit there and not play it. Now, I deleted
20
the
years
icon.
later.
I deleted the icon from my computer so I don't get pissed off. So, yeah.
It sucks that you had to do that, but at least you get to play it now. And I would still check from time to time to see if there's an update for the PC version that addresses it.
Right.
But well, like you were saying, it's still possibly an issue with your power supply.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that we're gonna have to look into it down the road.
Yep. So yeah, that was my announcement. No, I did not meet Larry Fishburne. I wish I did. Morpheus. Yeah, no. Carry on. I just wanted to say that.
I don't think it's possible to meet Larry Fishburne unless you have to take a submersible down to the Titanic, and then that's a bit of a risk that you
I
don't
was
want.
gonna
Wow, too soon, but not really.
Oops.
Yeah.
Hashtag canceled. So yeah, they followed that one up with a new Untitled Peach game, which doesn't have a name or a release date yet. It's supposed to be released sometime in 2024, and it's one of the few. It's weird because you and I were watching it when I was watching it on Discord, and you were like, yeah, like the first Peach game, or however many years it finally took, but not necessarily true, because they had the Super Princess Peach game, which I don't remember too much because I didn't play it. Is what it is.
That's probably why it took so long for them to make another one.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they had to capitalize on the peaches.
Well, it's weird because
Sing
it
it. Sing
sounds
the whole
like a
thing.
really.
Yeah, that's it.
Ryan in the chat, millions of peaches for me. Nice. I like that. No, yeah, it sounds like, because with the number of Mario themed announcements on this direct, it sounds like they were really wanting to capitalize on the success of the Mario Brothers movie, which critics and certain incredulous people are still fucking salty about due to its success.
Well, too bad for them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can vouch for, all the fans. Like if
Right.
you're not a fan, you're gonna bash the movie. But
Yes, Ryan, I enjoyed that movie as well. It was incredible. And yes, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remaster from the 3DS now will be on the Switch. So that's getting a 2024 date as well. There's no specific date yet. And then, of course, for the Switch fans that didn't get to play the Arkham games, you've got the Batman Arkham trilogy, which is coming out this fall, which has all 3 games, all DLC, as well as a bunch of other cool extra stuff that they want to throw in there as well.
That's exciting.
Oh yeah. Like I said, for those fans, I mean, even for those fans that did play it, might want to go back and try it again. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I'm probably not, because I wasn't really as interested in those games. I never bothered playing them. Let's see. We can skip Gloomhaven and Just Dance, because Gloomhaven actually is an interesting one because it's a turn-based tactical card game with some RPG elements, and I'm kind of interested in that one. I want to give it a shot. Because I mean, obviously I don't know about anyone else, but I used to play card games like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh and things like that. So I'm interested in some of the more complicated.
Oh man, I'm about to break out in dancing right now.
Yeah,
Because you said that.
Lewis's favorite game is Just Dance. Well, too bad.
Let's skip it.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we want to go to next? Oh, they shadow dropped the second DLC for Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope.
yes,
So that came out that day, which was really cool. That was an unexpected one that I think a lot of people that are fans of that game are very happy about. And
that game is actually really good. It's is entertaining for sure. Like I don't know. I liked it.
It's a neat game. I've started playing it. I do have the game. I've started playing it, but I haven't gotten back into it because I'm busy with other games. Yeah, between Zelda and Jedi and
Yeah, there's too many
I'm gonna be
games.
busy with Jedi Survivor 2.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we
finish it this
both
week though.
yeah we
No.
we can finish it in our own time, and we both have to finish streaming it. But yeah, I've been focusing more on Tears of the Kingdom than anything else, because that game is just so fucking fun to play. And then they moved into more details on Pikmin 4, which is another interesting one. So basically the premise, I think, is the same. It's the same as what you saw on, I think, Pikmin 3. Is you're fixing a spaceship that crashed, saving crew members. You have underground missions now, and then you have 2-player battles on this, which they're calling Dandori battles. And so basically you have to compete against the other player, collecting things, and I guess whoever scores more points wins. And then they're doing night missions now, which is a first for the Pikmin series. And then using that to introduce glow Pikmin. And then, and so they said that I guess the monsters at night turn into something else, I guess more ferocious versions of themselves or some things like that, which is really cool. And then on top of that, they also shadow dropped remastered versions of Pikmin 1 and 2. So now you have
Ooh.
all 4 Pikmin games on one system, which is really cool. So
That's exciting.
so the first 3 Pikmin games are available now, and then the 4th one comes out July 21st. So we're less than a month away. I actually have that game. Ryan in the chat, they turn into drunk Lewis's.
Hey, that shit is fun.
It's fun right up until the room starts spinning and then you have to run to the toilet.
That only happened once.
That we know of. Oh man. All right.
I think it only happened once.
You think.
Yes.
And there's the key phrase, folks. All right, so we jumped into, and of course, obviously, I know there are a lot of Metal Gear fans out there. I'm not really. I used to be one of them, but fuck Konami. But I still got to mention it. They're releasing the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, Volume 1, which includes Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. The first two Metal Gear games, and the NES versions of Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge, along with a bunch of like concept art, digital graphic novels, and things like that, which is cool for the Metal Gear Solid fan and that. But
right,
yeah, my opinion, fuck Konami. I won't give them any of my money. So
no, we decided that. I'm with you.
Oh yes, and now we get to let's shift it to Ryan's favorite game, Headbangers Rhythm Royale, which is the pigeon game that Ryan seems to love so much. It's a it's a rhythm battle royale. So basically, what you would expect from a battle royale, last person standing. So we need a game night for Sky Rats. Well, a bunch of us ought to buy that game. So if you're gonna buy it, I'll buy it, and we'll give the community some laughs for that one.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It looks like Fall Guys, but like stretched out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, it seems so stupid, but it's probably going to be like super, super fun. But yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to wait until October 31st because that's when that one comes out. And then here's another one that seemed actually rather interesting. Because it's akin to some of the classic like N64, Sega Saturn type games that have come out. Penny's Big Breakaway. So it's a 3D platformer by the folks that developed Sonic Mania. And so the main character moves around, like jumps and rides on a yo-yo, which is another character in itself. And so you can upgrade that character to kind of further help you out with different abilities and things like that, which I'm actually kind of interested in. If only there was a demo. Nintendo seems to be the only one of the few that's doing demos for a lot of their stuff. I think Steam is doing some, but not on the level that Nintendo's been doing. I'd love to see a demo for this game. But that's coming out early 2024, so they don't have an exact date yet. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like that.
Wave 5, they have a new course called Squeaky Clean Sprint. So that is, I guess you're racing around a bathroom, essentially. That's what it looks like. It's weird. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. They also have dropped 3 new characters.
Yeah, PD Piranha.
Yep. PD Piranha from Double Dash, Wiggler from Mario Kart 7, and Kamek from Mario Kart Tour. And that's going to come out this summer, which probably is going to be, that probably means like late August, September, something like that.
That's very exciting. So, Lola, you're going to have to buy the game.
Okay.
And it is part of, if you have the Nintendo Switch with the expansion packs, it's already included at that with no additional cost.
I'm going to after it comes out.
No worries. No rush.
100%, guys. Yeah. I gave you my word.
Anything else exciting for the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, there's plenty more.
Yeah, there's a few more. Well, I mean, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom got a couple new amiibo, Zelda and Ganondorf, which was really cool. For the WarioWare fans out there, there's a new game called WarioWare Move It. So basically, if you're familiar with the WarioWare games, it's basically a lot of micro games where you do like some small things and then you move on to the next game. I'm not as familiar with it because I never played any of the WarioWare games. It looks goofy as shit. It looks funny.
You just gotta move it. You never
Gotta
played
move it, move
the Nintendo, like the Game Boy one?
Mario Land 3?
No. So they had something similar with mini games, and then the cartridge
yeah.
of the game itself had like a sensor or something that you shake the Game Boy and then it moved things in the
I
game.
know the one you're talking about. I'd never played it.
Yeah, so it's obviously better now. It's fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm
with family.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think families would have a lot of fun with it. I just never played it. And for those of you for those of you who are not in our Discord, in our Discord, go ahead and join because I'm actually putting an image up of a nice little cringe moment from the Nintendo Direct. And so that's
Oh,
that was
Jesus.
that was an interesting one. So yeah, for those of you who are on our Discord, that's a nice little oh yeah, the everybody 1-2 switch, and then its predecessor 1-2 switch. I'm not interested in those games really. They have their audience, which is fine, but yeah, it's just not really my thing. Yes, and so they ended the Nintendo Direct with a brand new Mario game, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
I wonder.
It looks really nice.
It's trippy as hell.
It looks really nice.
Oh yeah. It's honestly, it's oh my god. Join our Discord. You'll know all of this. The banter that we have between each other, it's crazy. It's awesome. It's funny as hell. You are missing out. So the links are going to be down in the description. So let's get back to this. Yeah, so they introduced some new power-ups and abilities. It looks like you can kind of take over enemies or objects, kind of similar to how Mario Odyssey was. Haven't played that game, still need to, still want to. And then this new flower power-up looks like it looks like everything comes to life, like you're tripping on some kind of fucking mushroom or acid or some
mushrooms,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're fucking tripping. And then let's see. There's an elephant power up, which turns Mario into an elephant.
Elephant Mario.
Yep, Elephant Mario. You can play as Daisy now, which is really cool. Looks like 4-player local co-op. It looks like I'll have to look into it and see if there's online co-op so that we can still play. But it's not looking like it. But then again, we don't really know every bit of information just yet. So
right.
Fingers crossed.
I think it was a well-needed update on the classic game.
Oh yeah. Well, I love the way the art style looked because it seemed like a cross between like the new school Mario and the old school Mario kind of brought together, and it was super, super cool.
And movements, like it's not like just 2D. I mean, it is a 2D game, but it doesn't look like just 2D.
Oh yeah,
and then the animation that it has when it goes into the pipes and whatnot, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. They did the close-ups of Mario and the way he looked, especially when he was running and he went like he was going full speed. It really took me back to the way Super Mario World looked.
Yeah,
right.
It was so cool, and I cannot wait. This is another game that I'm going to get probably day one. Like the next few months, especially October and November are going to be packed as far as Nintendo is concerned. Like
I like that a lot of games are coming like this year.
Oh yeah. A
lot of those announced games, not like coming soon, whatever. No, it is. This one is October 20th.
Yep. October 20th of this year, which is going to be really, really cool. Yeah, so no mention of Metroid Prime 4 at this point. So, they're still working on that. I have a feeling that game is going to be it's going to be next year. I have a feeling, but I'm also thinking that it's going to be not only the Switch's swan song, like the last big game that they released for the Switch, but it's also going to be like the launch title for Nintendo's next hardware. And
That's a good point.
so we're and honestly, I think it's another one of those games that they're taking a while on, because this is one of those that they want to get right, like they did with Tears of the Kingdom,
Right.
because it was a 5, almost 6-year development cycle between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and that game has been phenomenal from day one. Aside from I said it before in one of the previous episodes, aside from some duplication glitches, there's been nothing game breaking that has been wrong with that game since it's come out. And
Like your
it's
PC turning off.
we'll get into that after we'll get into that actually. If we want, we'll get into that after Lola's theories and would you rather, and I'll tell the people about that, because that was fun. Not really. But no, I see Tears of the Kingdom as a statement by Nintendo to a lot of these other game developers that have these freaking short development cycles and release these bug-ridden, oftentimes unfucking playable games on these other consoles. And it's so fucking ridiculous. And when you have like a console that, for some people who actually get into the console war and they talk about Microsoft and Sony and they don't even talk about Nintendo, it's like they're not even in the conversation and blah blah blah. It's like, really? Okay. Well, then why is it that Nintendo is outselling you guys at every fucking turn
Right.
this generation? That's about as far as into it as I'm going to get, because I don't want to turn into a fucking rant, because yeah. But yeah, no, I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be another one of those games like Tears of the Kingdom that they want to be as close to perfect as you can get before it comes out,
3.5 rating for that rant.
Shut up, Ryan. So yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And 3.5 out of 7. Oh man. Any other points that you guys want to touch on in that respect before we move on to our next bit?
I don't have
No.
anything else on Nintendo. You pretty much covered everything.
Hmm.
Or those are pretty much the highlights. It's obviously a lot more. If you want to find the Nintendo Direct, you can go on YouTube and find it and see a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have anything else, I would like to, before we move on to the next segment, I found out 2 things today about Miles Morales. It's not going to be any spoilers or anything like that. But there was a theory that there was 2 different versions of the movie out
Like
in the
out in the
theaters.
movie theaters, yeah.
In the theaters. Nothing too major, nothing that it would change the movie itself. It was more of dialogue being different in a couple of the scenes. Some scenes were cut short in one of the versions. The one that sticks out the most was no spoiler. When Miguel O'Hara is fighting one of the villains, um, they show his fangs, because we all know that Spider-Man 2099 has fangs and claws.
I did see an image of that.
Yeah, so in one of the versions, he's fighting this villain and he has him almost on a chokehold and he's about to bite him, and this cop or police helicopter shows up, and then they cut the scene and it doesn't happen. But then in the other version, they come out of the museum fighting, and when he has them on that chokehold, they completely cut that out.
Oh, then I saw the one with he was gonna bite.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Ryan in the chat was one the porn spoof shows his thing.
Yes, shows his thing. So, and then there's other dialogues like the Spot says one thing in one of the scenes, but then it doesn't say it in a different version, says something completely different. Or there's a scene where they're Miguel O'Hara and Gwen Stacy are swinging through the museum, and there's a whole dialogue in one of the scenes, but then in a different version, they're just swinging. They're not saying anything. So small things like that.
I did notice. So I watched this movie when I was in Puerto Rico, and all the movies over there have Spanish subtitles or they're um translated. But the one with the Spanish subtitles, it completely says something way off, like what they, what they said
Right.
in the movie. I was like, what the? They're just
and that
they're
never
just,
happens.
mhm.
What the hell?
Yeah, you seem to be having a party over there
Yeah.
because the one behind you has been flickering the entire time.
My light just turned off.
It did.
Oh no.
You're blending into the background, bro.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
The Spot is getting to you.
I don't know what
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
So I'm just hold that thought.
Holding.
See more flickers.
Which is funny because it's the camera itself. It's not really the light. It's when I get out of frame and it's
Adjust.
adjusting.
Mm.
Either that or the dog is eating that cable back there. I don't know. Oh, wrong one.
I was going to say some dogs have a
Yeah.
tendency to do that.
Yeah, especially mine. He ate my Ethernet cable.
Ow.
Ta-da.
There you go.
Different light. Actually, I like that better. Okay. So something else.
Ryan in the chat. Am I going to die in 24 hours after watching that?
Yes,
It's possible,
definitely,
yes.
it's possible. Another thing is, which is very interesting. People were complaining, or they point out that when Gwen Stacy in the first movie is telling Miles her story about how she lost Peter Parker, and when she talks about her dad, they look different in the first movie. They got redesigned for the second one, and people were like, is this a mistake, or was this made on purpose, or they just didn't put too much thought into what happened in the first one and they explain more in the second one? There's a theory. The theory is that the first movie, Gwen Stacy's telling the story to Miles, but when she mentions Peter Parker, he envisions him as the Peter Parker that he saw, not the one that it was in her universe. And Captain Stacy, he never met him, so he had to picture somebody. And in the flashback, he looks Hispanic, but it's obviously is because he lives in New York and there's a lot of Hispanic people around him, so that's how he pictures him. Listen, whatever. So that is the reason of the theory on the redesign, because in this second movie, she's not telling us the story. She's actually living the story. So it's in her point of view. how they actually look in her universe. That's why they look different. I just
That's a
wanted to point that out.
cool. Yeah, that's a cool thought that they
Right.
had. So
They could have just kept it the same, but because Peter Parker actually died in her universe younger, so he sees him. Miles in the first one sees him as an older version because that's who he sees or he's seen. That's it. That's it. We're gonna go on a quick break. When we come back, Lola has her theories and would you rather, and Ryan, you can go fuck yourself. And guys, welcome back. You heard our Nintendo Direct highlights and Secret Invasion episode 1 breakdown. So now we are here for Lola's theories. And take it away, Lola.
All right, I have one theory, and I kept giggling about it because it's so good. From Willy Wonka, there are apparently sacrifices. The children are sacrifices.
gee,
Damn.
Interesting.
It's so funny.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The original Willy Wonka.
Yes. Yes. And somebody pointed out that the 5 children are basically the 5 archetypes of like, you know, the fool, the scholar, the virgin, all that stuff. So, and what they did is they compared it to Cabin in the Woods. So each child
That's a
represents one of
weird-ass
them.
movie.
Yeah. And so basically, they're the 5 archetypes of like people in horror movies, and they're all meant to be a sacrifice, and that's fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
That is.
The fact that we find this funny is funny.
Yeah, I kept giggling
Moving
while
on.
writing it down.
Horror movie tropes in a kid's film. It's great.
So there's that. And then for the would you rather, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so option 1, you can have Medusa's gaze. Which is the bimbo that can't run. I don't know, what would you categorize that as? Like I have 2 Ryan wrote something on the chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Would you say that that's
Chris.
because I have the whore and I have the virgin. The whore is Augustus, which is so fucking funny. Because he's just lusting after chocolate. And the virgin is Charlie, because he's, you know, pure of heart and innocent. Anyways, okay. Option 1 is Medusa's gaze. You can turn anyone into stone, but once you use it, you can't turn it back off. So there's that. Or option 2, mind reading. You get the ability to hear thoughts but you don't get the ability of controlling whose thoughts and when it happens.
So they're just random. I'm asking.
Repeat the choices again.
yeah, I
Oh, hold on.
Clocked out. I don't know what you just said.
Hold on.
Her headphones disconnected. Oh, died.
Wireless headphones.
She said that you get Medusa's case, which
Sorry,
has,
my headphones just
I'm
died.
assuming it has her head. And you can turn anyone to stone, but you can't turn them back. Right? Lola?
Repeat that. That's why I said hold on. My headphones died. I don't know anything of what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
just
you said
started
that
talking.
as...
just
You're not
repeat.
speaking-
Just repeat your thing.
Repeat the choices again.
Repeat them
Okay,
again.
so Medusa's gaze turn anyone into stone, but once you use it, you can't turn it off. So you have the option of using your power your entire life, but once you use it, you can't turn it off.
So it
Or-
would turn anybody or everybody into stone that you
Everybody
come
that you
across?
look at would turn to stone, and you can never turn
Yes.
it off.
Okay.
Right. Or option 2, mind reading, which you know what mind reading is, but you can't control whose thoughts or when it happens.
Ooh.
I'll take the mind
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah, me too.
That's kind of gross. I'll take the Medusa one. Because imagine you're passing by mom and then all of a sudden it's like,
That,
ugh.
oh, yeah.
I'm saying it's like you can't control whose thoughts come into your head or when. And
Yeah.
so it's like you're having random people's thoughts, and it's just like that would drive some people just insane, literally
Bananas. Yeah.
fucking insane. I'd probably go with the Medusa one.
You know, as soon as you said what you said, I don't want it.
Right.
I still
That's my
read
point.
minds. I have a strong
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, but strong mind or not, basically, there's no way to tune it out. Like, there's no way.
I'd rather look at my kids than turn into stone. So in my head, I'd rather have that.
Well, I understand that perspective because, yeah, you definitely. So yeah, there is that.
I hate that.
I mean,
It's a great game.
you can
Yeah,
be
no,
any
fantastic.
you can defeat any opponent in a debate or a fight with the mind reading though.
Well-
Ryan in the chat, or sophisticated gentleman in the chat.
Well, sophisticated, yes, but
It is random.
the problem is, let's say you're on a debate, right? But because it's random, you're not reading the person you're debating with. You're reading someone else's, and now you can't concentrate.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You don't get to control it at all.
But
So it could come from a bunch of random people in the audience.
yes, I'd rather
Then
Throw
you turn
lightning.
into a. Then you turn into a.
Not an
stand-up comedian.
option.
Oh man. Hey Ryan, you're not allowed to say master anymore. So
Whoa.
yeah. So with that being said, I
Play it off like a magic trick and to distract your opponent, grasping at straws here. I just don't want to make people hard. Oh my god. That That's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right. So I choose to I'm with Yadi actually. It would suck not to be able to look at your kids because you're gonna turn them into stone.
Is that
Although-
different side? Yeah. It's
Is can't you look at people through
Through
a mirror?
reflections. Yes.
So
According to mythology,
Be a
yes.
mirror all the time.
yeah, I will
You just
walk around
can't
with
look
a
at them
mirror.
straight in the eye.
Well, no, because according to mythology, if you look at yourself in the mirror with those powers active, you turn
You-
yourself to stone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So bearing that in mind, I think I'd probably go with the mind reading.
What you're saying is you're gonna make yourself hard.
Well, it depends on whose mind I'm reading. Hey.
All right, so I choose mind reading.
I'm alright without the mind reading. Fuck you, bitches. I don't want to look at you.
That's also a good point. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys pick?
Produces case.
I'm going with
Mind
mind
reading.
reading.
Mind reading. Sounds good. Fantastic.
Y'all are nasty.
Hey, well,
You're just
All right.
assuming that that's a thought people will have.
That's a
were
thought
the
that people have all the time.
You can
The
read mine
time.
now.
A sophisticated gentleman in the chat brings a whole new meaning to getting stoned.
Oh yeah.
yes. Before we go anywhere, do you have a? You said it was 1-1, right?
1 and 1.
Okay, so something that we were going to do, it was called the Ask the Archive. We have one question. It was about a month ago. Actually, it was a month and a day ago.
And we're just now doing it.
Well, it's because I was trying to get more questions, but
Right.
since we didn't get any more, I would like to read the question and see what you guys think.
Absolutely.
So the question is actually from Ryan. If you guys want to ask the archive, make sure you go on our Discord, join our Discord, and under the Ask the Archive channel, you can type in your question. Make sure it's a nerdy question. We will pick through them, and if they're not safe to read out loud, we won't read them.
Sophisticated gentleman just put one in.
Yep, I saw that. So I'm going to read them both.
Nice.
Classic Ryan says, "You're an island. You are
You
If
are
he-
an island.
well. Actually, if he learned how to type, it'd be better. You are on an island. You can only have one video game. No internet, no updates. What game? Somehow on this island, you have power and a game system.
Ooh.
Rapid fire. What
Tears of the
game?
Kingdom.
Okay, Lola.
Fallout or one of the newer Assassin's Creed games because they have a bunch of shit to do there.
Okay, Yadi.
That's a hard one. That's what she said. I don't know. I'll say Golden Eye. Played it a lot before.
Jedi Survivor. Just kidding. Pokemon Gold.
It's not a bad choice.
Yep. Now, sophisticated gentlemen, if all the Jedi faced all the Avengers, who would win? If you could, what? Damn! Now, listen, I'm gonna read the one more.
Let's go one at a time. Don't try to do a bunch at
We'll
once.
save it
Just
for
go
the
one at a
next
time.
No, I just
So-
thought it was part of the same question.
Yeah, I know. So if all the Jedi faced all the Avengers, who would win? Now, are we talking like from a specific era, or are we talking about like all the Jedi within the Star Wars universe?
Let's say all of them.
Let's just say all of them. Just pick one. A Jedi or an Avenger, and who?
Choose your side.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think the Jedi would have more of an advantage.
I
Because
believe so
we're
too.
looking
Yeah.
because we're looking at all the Jedi. I'm framing my answer based on like the question as it stands. All the Jedi
Right.
versus all the Avengers.
Right.
You know, they might have trouble with some of them, but lightsabers. Come on.
Right.
I was leaning more so towards the Force. It does Storm belong to the Avengers at some point or another?
Yes.
Then the Jedi are screwed.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Ooh. Now it's gonna change your side. I'm
I'm
only
sorta-
with the Avengers.
I'm
Yeah, I
going,
am with the Avengers too.
I'm going with the Jedi.
I'm gonna have to go with the Avengers because you're looking at. Yeah, I mean, there's a
There's
bunch.
so many.
you're
There's
looking at.
gods.
Yeah.
And we have Adam Warlock that he doesn't die apparently of anything that he gets hit. So
Was Adam Warlock ever a member of the Avengers though?
I don't know. He's just in that world. So I just
Well, he's in the
I put
Marvel
him in.
universe, yes, but we're talking
even-
like
Galaxy. So I'm guessing he is. Eventually.
I'm going with the Jedi. If you could host any other
Jedi don't
podcast
have
from
a
the
host.
Creators Club for one episode, which would you choose? I would choose Remy's Roundtable because there's I like AI.
I was about to say the exact same fucking thing. It's like I would choose Remy's Roundtable because then we wouldn't have to worry about AI, and you'd actually we'd actually be able to produce an episode that people want to fucking watch.
Wow. Just kidding.
Yeah, I
Tired.
fucking went
Oh.
there. No, seriously, Remy, I know you're going to listen to this at some point. I love you to death. Seriously, scale back on the fucking AI, please, for the love of God.
And that is Justin's rant, and that is a 10 out of 5. God damn. All right.
Yes, I'm tossing shade, but honestly, because I want all of the podcasts within our network to be successful, and that's the thing though. It's weird because Remy's Roundtable is what brought all of us together in the first place,
Right.
and
Not
to
us,
see-
but the Creators Club.
well, right. I mean, and that's
My camera was going crazy.
Let's read that
I
last
know.
question.
I know. I'm waiting. We
Oh my God.
okay. Ryan said, and this is only for me. Would you rather sit on a pickle and eat a dick, or sit on a dick and eat a pickle? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit
Just
on a dick.
Do it.
I'm just gonna sit on a dick.
Oh man. Oh fuck.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for all the questions. I appreciate you.
That reminds me of the pickle fucker scene from Clerks 2. If you've seen that movie, you won't know what I'm talking about, but if you have, it's
I did pick one, Ryan. I did. And I said, sit on a dick.
At least you get
Okay.
a snack.
Okay. Yeah, right. Listen. Okay, so when HBO had those after hour specials and whatever, right? They had one that was they were interviewing this inmate, right? And he was this is gonna get graphic. Okay, real quick. They were interviewing this inmate, and he was one of the so-called leaders of the gangs in the prison, right?
Mm.
And the interviewer asked him, "So, since you are part of a gang, I'm assuming gangs have initiations. What is an initiation for new gang members?" And he said, "We make him eat ass." And the interviewer was stunned, right? And he said, the interviewer asked, "But how come eating ass but and not performing oral sex or anything like that?" And the guy said, he said, when you are performing oral sex, you can imagine you're doing something else. But when you're eating ass, you know you're eating ass. And I was like 12 when I was watching this.
What?
Man. Yeah. So
A little childhood trauma builds character.
yeah. And that is why Deadpool is my spirit animal. All right. So this episode's a little long. We're already at an hour and 37 minutes. This is our second longest episode so far. The first longest episode was 3 hours, but whatever.
Hey, it works when you have so much good shit to talk about. But it did take a turn at the end.
Yeah.
This one, anyway.
Yeah. All right. So that is it for today. Make sure you go on our website, thenerdarchive.com. You can find all of our episodes there, our merch, everything that you need to know about us. And make sure that you join our Discord so you can drop your question for Ask the Archive. Apparently, it doesn't matter how bad the question is, we're still going to answer.
Also, you get to play with us in Among Us or whatever your name.
So we started a community night. We played the first night we did Among Us. Oh man, I almost made it.
You almost had it,
I almost
man.
made it. Among Us.
Almost.
And then we're gonna be playing other games like Mario Kart, Uno, Jackbox, things like that. So make sure you join our Discord so you can stay up to date. And with that being said, shut up. And make sure you go on our social media, and they are all in the description down below.
Click all the things.
Love it.
Thank you guys. You guys are fantastic. Special thank you to Ryan and Sophisticated Gentlemen for joining us tonight. You guys are amazing. Again, this was Lola, Justin, Yadi, and Lewis. See you guys next week. Deuces.
Bye.